I arrived late on purpose. That way, the room had already settled into itself. The chairs claimed, the jokes warmed up, the old stories rehearsed and ready. When I'm early, people look at me too closely, searching for change. When I'm late, I slip in as I am remembered. I hung my jacket on the same hook by the door. It wobbled the same way it always had. The apartment smell, cardamom tea and fried onions hadn't changed either. Familiarity has a weight to it. You don't notice until you pick it up again. "Hey," I said to no one in particular. My uncle glanced over his shoulder. He was holding court near the window, explaining something about property prices as if he'd personally invented them. "There you are," he said. "Traffic?" Something like that. He laughed and turned back to his audience, then added over his shoulder, "Still living in that tiny apartment, huh?" It wasn't a question that needed an answer. It was a bookmark, a reminder of where my story was supposed to pause. My sister didn't even look at me. She was scrolling on her phone, legs crossed, posture perfect. "Must be tough," she said lightly, like she was commenting on the weather. I set the dish I'd brought on the table and felt the familiar internal split, the part of me that wanted to correct the record and the part that had learned how expensive explanations could be. I chose the latter again. "It's fine," I said. That word, fine, had always done a lot of work for me. It let other people keep their versions intact, kept things moving. Dinner unfolded. Plates passed. Someone asked me about work vaguely, and I answered vaguely back. I'd learned to keep my sentences short. Long sentences invited follow-ups, and follow-ups led to skepticism. I watched my uncle talk with his hands, watched my sister's eyebrows lift and fall in practiced reactions. The room was performing itself. At some point, I reached into my pocket to silence my phone. It had started buzzing insistently. Calendar reminder. Nothing urgent. I didn't look. I just felt around, pressed the side button, and set the phone face down beside my plate. The key landed with a soft, unmistakable sound. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. Just metal meeting wood. But the shape was wrong for the room. Too sleek. Too intentional. My mother was the one who noticed. She always did notice, even when she pretended not to. Her eyes flicked down, then back up to my face. She frowned, just slightly. "Wet," she said. "Is that a Lamborghini fob?" The word hung there. Not dropped, placed. My uncle's laughter stalled mid-breath. My sister finally looked up. I glanced down, as if surprised to see it myself. Then I smiled. Not wide, not sharp, just enough. "Oh, this." I picked it up between two fingers. "Yeah, just a little housewarming gift to myself." Silence did what it does best. It expanded. My mother didn't say anything for a moment. She studied me the way she used to when I came home late as a teenager. Not accusing, just recalibrating. Then she nodded once, slowly, like a piece had clicked into place. "Where did you park?" she asked. "Downstairs," I said, "around the corner." The question mattered more than the answer. It grounded the moment, made it real. My uncle cleared his throat. "Lamborghini, huh?" His voice had changed, softer, curious in a new way. "Didn't know you were into cars." "I'm not," I said. "Into timing." That earned a few confused looks. I let them sit with it. My sister's phone lay forgotten in her lap. "So," she said carefully, "you moved." "Yes, recently." "How long is a while?" I shrug. "Long enough." There were a dozen follow-up questions waiting in the air. I could feel them, pressing, eager, and claimed territory. How, when, with who, on what terms? I didn't invite them. I reached for my water instead, took a sip, set the glass down. My mother stood. "Dessert," she announced, like a gavel. She began clearing plates, and the room obeyed. Authority doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just starts moving, and everyone adjusts. As she passed me, she touched my shoulder. Brief grounding, not exactly pride, recognition. The rest of the evening rearranged itself around that touch. My uncle asked about my work again, this time listening for the answers instead of waiting to talk. My sister went quiet, then asked if I'd be free next weekend. I said I wasn't sure. It was true. No one apologized. No one congratulated me. That wasn't the currency here. What changed was subtler. The jokes stopped landing on me. The assumptions paused, uncertain. A new space opened, cautious and respectful in a way that felt both validating and oddly lonely. When it was time to leave, I didn't linger. I hugged my mother. She held on a second longer than usual. "Drive safe," she said. "I will." Outside, the night air was cool and honest. The car waited where I'd left it, unremarkable in the dim light, until it wasn't. I unlocked it and slid into the driver's seat, hand steady on the wheel. I didn't feel triumphant. There was no surge, no vindictive pleasure. What I felt was steadiness, the kind that comes from not having to carry other people's underestimations anymore. They could keep them if they wanted. They just wouldn't fit as neatly now. As I pulled away, I caught my reflection in the rearview mirror. Same face, same posture, different gravity. Success hadn't changed me as much as silence had taught me to wait, and waiting, it turned out, had been its own quiet leverage all along.